Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start. Okay, this is June 8th, and I'd like to call the Education Committee meeting to order right now. It is 5:08. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
A motion that we start this meeting.
All right. Can I get a second? Should I be the second since we don't have enough people on here? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you can be the second.
Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes from the April 13th meeting? I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, April 13th.
A motion to.
Can't hear you. You're frozen.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I motion that we adopt.
I second. Okay, it's seconded that we accept the agenda as presented and the minutes. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I motion that we adopt the agenda.
Okay, all right, here we go, guys. Okay, items for discussion at this meeting. One of them was the student handbook, and I know Miss Irene is on it. She has not had an opportunity to see it. It's been approved, and so we'll make sure you get it. It's the handbook that Dr. Skinner revived, and we do have that, and I'll make sure that the new board members get that, okay? I spent a lot of time revising it, and it was approved, so we'll make sure that we pass that on.
Okay.
Ms. Graves,
thank you.
if I may, if you actually go to last month's board meeting on the ESB, you can actually open it up. It's a PDF on the document.
Yeah, and I make copy. Okay. She doesn't have access to that, so I'm going to make sure.
The whole public has access to
Oh,
it.
so you can just go in?
You can just go in and access it.
Okay. Did you hear that, Ms. Kendrick, just in case?
What is it called?
If you go to the May Board of Education meeting on our website and you click on it and you click on the agenda, you can actually click on the item and you can download the PDF handbook.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next item that he has on the agenda is the summer school update, and that'll be you, Dr. Skinner.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and request to share my screen and show you a brief PowerPoint and we talk about it.
All right.
So instead of actually playing the whole PowerPoint, I'm just going to kind of do it this way, if that's okay. That way I can scroll down myself. So basically, this is an all virtual learning platform this year. Nobody's in person. And they're basically a 2.5 hour block in the morning, followed by a break, followed by another 2.5 hour block. And the new PBL, which is the project-based learning modules, they have new ones for the middle school students, as well as new English language arts modules for 4th and 5th grade students. And basically, because of the way we did summer school and the way we kind of abruptly halted, school at the end of the spring break, basically there's remediation going on as well as enrichments for those that need it. We do have our EL translation services. Ms. Swampnan Kumar, along with our translators, are working with Ms. Washington to make sure the lessons are getting translated into the different languages they need. And the languages that we typically do are Urdu, Arabic, and Spanish. And again, everything's with technology, and the Zoom lessons are recorded and posted for the students and parents. There's your enrollment. If you look, you'll see that we do have over 1,000 students enrolled. However, if you look, what we've done, just to kind of give you an idea, is you can see how many are, quote, regularly engaged. In other words, they're there all the time participating in the lesson. So we have somewhere between 60 and 70% of the students actively engaged on a daily basis. And again, it is a Monday through Thursday because, you know, it was a short summer and we finished the school year. The teachers actually use that Friday for PD, so they collaborate together and plan for the next week. And again, you kind of see that exactly what I just talked about, a 2.5 hour and followed by a break, followed by another 2.5 hours. Here's what some of the quotes the administrators are saying. And I'm going to have to move you over a little bit so I can read them. Better accessibility, accessibility to observe and visit classrooms. The students are engaged with higher levels. Parent-teacher communication is essential to student success. Grateful to have the racial equity tools. So there's a lot going on as far as the success of the program. There's some of the teacher feedback. Curriculum is clear and specific. Parents sit in on some of the lessons, which is kind of nice. Love being able to spend time with the students in a small group, one-on-one. There are some of the learning platforms. They are using Zoom, just like we're using right now, to Zoom in with their students. They're using Seesaw. And of course, they're using some of the Plato courses from Edmentum. So, you know, again, variety is not just one type of software being used, it's multiple. These are not in learning platforms such as Edmentum and Seesaw and Zoom, but they are using Engage New York, Discover Education, iReady, screencasting. So they're using a variety of other tools in order to deliver the curriculum. Instructional programming, kindergarten through 5th grade. Again, they're using English language arts, you know, iReady units, Engage New York modules. Math is Engage New York, as well as benchmarks and power standards. Science is Discover Education. If you recall, that is something that we did about 3 years ago. We still have a contract with this. All of our science texts are through Discovery Education. And then project-based learnings of unit. And that's really important. You know, we talked about that before. Learning isn't in isolation. You learn it in an application process. In other words, you don't learn math just like this equals this. You learn math is if you were going to go to the store, you know, all this cost, there's such a % tax. You gave them so much money. How much would you get back? So everything's project-based learning. These are some of the instructional programs that you see for the 6th through 8th grade, as well as the 9th through 12th grade that is going on. Shows you how many staff are involved. Whoops, I skipped over that one. Basically, right now you're looking at 17 elementary teachers, 8 middle school, and 10 high school. So this is kind of where we're going right now. We have just started. We're in our 2nd week. This goes through June 25th. So that'll be the last day of summer school. Any kind of questions that you might have about any of that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Seesaw. I use that for my kindergartners. That was really good.
Okay.
Are they using the Epic reading series? I saw you had Epic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Because it'll read to you sometimes. You know, sometimes they'll read the stories or you read them. So I think that's nice. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else?
I mean, again, I think based on the fact that, you know, again, this is one of the ones, and I will tell you, we had the option to do a in-person summer school, or even to wait a little bit and do in person, and I chose not to, and ELT chose not to. I personally don't want to bring students back any sooner than we need to. You know, safety is going to be paramount in this. We want to make sure our students are safe. So again, this is kind of why we chose this format, and I do think, you know, having that one day to PD to kind of see how the week went, plan for the next week is actually, you know, very good for our instructors to get together. And because it is something new, it is, you know, a little bit different than what we did, you know, for that last 9 weeks. We didn't necessarily Zoom in every day with the students. We had a lot of teachers that did that on their own, but this is, you know, actually kind of required. So they're getting 5 full hours of instruction a day with the instructors.
Good.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen now unless you have any questions. You need me to go back to a slide.
Any questions, anyone?
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Okay, I think the next item that he had on the agenda was the 2021 school year, and I just assume it's what are the plans?
Well, I will tell you it's very early on. Not 100% sure what the plans are going to be yet. We have a task force that we have developed with a variety of people on it. We have elementary, middle, high school teachers. We have administrators on it. We have ELT on it. We have parents on it. Different people coming to represent different views to make sure that, we're looking at all angles. And we have our very first meeting tomorrow. And this is what we're talking about. We're really, to be honest, I've talked to a few people already. There are a lot of questions. Such as how do you social distance on a bus? There are questions like this. And so again, we also sent a parent survey home to parents, and we're going to kind of start looking at the results, what parents think as well. Because again, all parents aren't on this committee. We only have a few parents on the committee. So this is going to be our first meeting going forward. I anticipate, to be honest, because we are going to have some type of decision. I anticipate that we'll start making plans and we'll have something to share mid-July. I will tell you that Mr. Obing, superintendent, I've invited him to be on this task force as well to make sure that any decisions we have going forward, that he is apprised of those decisions and in agreement. But really right now, we're just having our first meeting tomorrow.
I see Mr. Abrams on, so I'm gonna just turn it back over to him. We're about through, but go ahead.
Hello, yes, thank you so much, Co-Chair Graves. I appreciate you for doing that for me. Hello, all members of the committee. Another constituents, I had to work and I just got off work, so I apologize for being late, but Co-Chair Graves always does a great job filling in as she's done today, so I thank you so much for that. I did get to come in while we're talking about the summer school. And so I was hoping that there was more. I wasn't sure when the meetings were going to be for planning for next school year. If we had any detailed information about the option. I know we wouldn't have an option narrowed down yet or a selection, but just if we had more information on the options that were discussed so far, if we're doing all virtual, if we're going to be going synchronous or, A day,
Are you talking about for next school year?
Yes.
I will tell you, in the discussions, I don't believe there's any way we can be all virtual. We have single parents with first graders and second graders. They can't stay home every day with their child. So that's really not an option. I think, there are some parents that may want to keep their children home. And I will tell you, one of the things that we're talking about is, can we present some type of virtual platform for those that want to and kind of push it out that way? If we do have some parents choosing to stay home, that will lower the number of students that actually come in person. So it's, there's nothing that has been really totally said that we're not going to do. Although, to be honest, I don't see how we can do all virtual. I truly don't. I think our parents, can't afford to stay home and, with their children every day. So I think we do need to make sure that, they're at home. We need to provide link services for those families that need it. So it's going to be kind of a give and take of what it looks like. I have no idea if we're talking about, and I'll give you an example. We've talked about so many things, year tracking, talking about dividing up, where you have some people start a little earlier and another group starting a little later. So, you're spreading out. So we've had a lot of just initial conversations, but to be honest, we really need to get that task force all together so that, we have 30 heads together, a lot better than 2 or 3 coming up with ideas. And even when we come up with ideas, we need to discuss how based in reality they are, how viable they are, are they going to work for everybody? Or are we going to have certain people that won't be able to do that? Kind of like I was just giving you that one scenario. And I will tell you, these are, other superintendents. We're having conversations together on Fridays and talking about what some other districts are doing. And so, we are getting ideas from other districts as well. But right now, this is going to be our first meeting. And it is just June 8th right now. So I think we're still in line and on time, to present an option going forth for next year. Met with Desi actually at the end of last week, and we talked a little bit about it. And right now, DESE hasn't really pushed out a lot of guidance, but they have said that, they're going to be very flexible in the way they support districts. So as soon as we do come up with something, we'll share it with DESE to make sure we get approval. So, everybody that needs to be connected somehow to the district for this decision is being brought to the table. But it's very early, in the time frame right now. So again, we just put the survey out for parents last week. So with all that being said, I kind of go back to, the task force first meeting is tomorrow. And I think it's going to at least bring the right people to the table to go forward making that decision or decisions.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any benchmarks or deadlines or kind of timestamps of when we expect to have information, so that way the board is aware, parents and community stakeholders are kind of at least aware of the progress, so they can better make a more informed decision on what they want to do with their children next school year?
I will tell you what I've been telling people. I think again, being right now, being the 8th, I think the task force working together, we should have something to share with the public by mid-July. I am going to talk again with the superintendent tomorrow. He is coming into town. And so he and I have a meeting tomorrow morning, and we're going to start discussion on what he envisions going forward, a timeline, and being on the committee and so forth as well. So right now, I have only told a few parents when they've asked that, we should have something out on the website by mid-July, but nothing no hard step deadline by, a certain date or anything.
Right. Well, I appreciate you really wanting to take the time to make sure you get the best information out, not just rushing to throw every piece of information out there, but as a parent, as an educator, the sooner that people get that information, they can make a better decision. But again, I appreciate you waiting to make sure you present quality information, not just every update that could change.
If we present something too soon, it will confuse people.
Yes.
They'll hear this, even if we make a change going forward, they may not hear about the change. They'll only hear that. And so, I don't really want to present anything until we're positive. But again, right now it is just fact finding, asking questions, trying to find answers and solutions. I mean, again, that first question I just asked a minute ago, I've been asking this, and, what does social distancing look like on a bus? I know what I've seen on, I've been doing some research. I see what other districts across the, country are talking about doing. And, I don't know how feasible it is for some of us. I mean, again, Mr. Weekly and I've been in conversations about what does that look like? We just went to a 3-tier bus system. We voted on that last month. And, so that will save us a little money. So in case we do need to run additional buses, it won't be too much of an addition, and we just may not have the savings we're counting on. So there's just, to be honest, there's so many questions, so many, and we don't have enough answers right now. But again, bringing all these people together, we're going to have an answer one way or another of what we're going to do. But I'd rather have all those facts, all those answers before I start putting out partial information to the public.
Yes, sir. Completely understandable. Are there any other questions, comments?
Dr. Skinner, do you have any other people? Can any other people be on your committee, or have you just already got who you think you need?
No, I mean, we have it open. I don't know. We're trying to, get, like I said, parents. We're bringing everybody different perspectives to the board, to be honest. So.
If somebody a teacher wanted to be on there, could they?
They could contact me. I don't want to get too big of a committee because it gets harder. And we do have a little over 30 people on it already. But again, right now, tomorrow's our first meeting. We may not have everybody show up, and I may be looking for more members.
Okay.
I do want to make sure everybody is represented. So if I do have people that don't show up on the meeting tomorrow, I may need to get somebody to replace them. So, if you have anybody that's interested in serving on the committee, please ask them to contact me.
Okay.
Would it be beneficial if it was any board members that were available to also serve on this committee?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that in too much depth. I know that we want to make sure that when we present it to the board is, an improvement. And I just didn't know if that would skew it one way or another. But definitely, I wouldn't be opposed to having board members, sit in on the discussion because, again, you also have a different point of view than everybody else as well.
I'm just trying, excuse me, Chair. I was just trying to ensure that with, as we want to ensure not to cause panic with the public, but also to ensure that the board is also kind of kept aware of the updates as far as what has transpired. It might be advantageous to have the board not necessarily even participate, but even just be able to observe to understand the gravity,
Right.
the
I mean,
overall perspective.
it could be very much like what we did with our student handbook. You know, several board members
Absolutely.
did stop by, you know, and observe, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. If you are, as a board member, you know, anybody wants to participate, I can make sure you get an invite sent to you.
Okay. Thank you.
So you were requesting one? I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. I'm going on. I'll just.
Yeah, I think that'd be something.
Do you want one too, Mr. Abram?
Well, as a board member whose term is ending in 3 days, I would not be a member of the board, but I would, as a parent, as community stakeholder, would love to be part of that committee. To have 3 children in the district now.
Okay, I'll add you as well.
Yeah, Chair
I really
Abram.
appreciate that.
I would really like
Great.
for you to stay in the community, and I would really like to see you present.
Oh, for sure. I'm deeply vested in the district. I'll talk about that next. But listen, are there any other questions, comments, concerns about the 2020-21 school year plans?
No.
Awesome.
Not at this time, sir.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, item 5. Item to go to the full board, and there's nothing on the agenda. Is that accurate, Dr. Skinner?
Yes, we've already done the handbook. The summer school was really just an update for you all. I mean, we can provide an update to the full board if you'd like, but that'd be it. There's no action taken, just information.
Okay, awesome. Any questions, comments, concerns about that? Anyone?
No, sir.
So do you want more? Do you want that information taken to the full board or no?
No, that was just if we
Okay.
needed something to be vetted through the committee first to be approved to go. But if there's no information items that probably would be given anyway, we're perfectly fine.
Okay.
So we move on to item 6, future meeting dates. We have the regular session board meeting and reorganization on June 11th at 6:30 p.m. We have the regular session board meeting July 16th at 6:30 p.m. At this point, I would just like to take a moment, a point of personal privilege, and just thank everybody on this committee, the staff, the EOT board members, staff, community stakeholders, for just allowing me to serve in this capacity over this past year. It has been a privilege and a pleasure. We set some goals early this year. I think we accomplished all those. We have a new handbook implemented throughout the district. We are solidified in our curriculum, our iReady. So we're definitely making gains in that area. I think this committee had established new norms of our function and our collaboration with one another, with the board. And I'm just grateful that I was able to be a part of this and be able to make the relationships with everyone on the board and on this committee. Today's actually my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. And so I was at work all day, and then I called Director Graves, said, "Hey, I'm going to be late for the meeting. Can you take over?" She's like, "I got you. Don't worry about it." And I left my one Zoom meeting, got on here, and I tell you, serving this board has been a delight. And even though it's my birthday, I would rather be no place than right here, right now, serving the students and community Hickman Middle School District. So again, I just thank you all for allowing me to serve, allowing me to increase my capacity. And as Mr. Watcher said, I'm still going to be around in some capacity. So you haven't seen the last of me, and I just appreciate the new board members for coming on and pass the torch. And I hope to see great things in the district. So thank you all so much.
Well, Mr. Abram, I'll probably say a little bit more on Thursday night, but I truly appreciate, your service. It's definitely been noticed and your support. So I just truly am glad that you did join the board, even if it's just a year. It does mean a lot, I know, to me and several other EOT members. So again, your support has not just been appreciated, it's been extremely noted. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always next year. I'm saving my time.
I want to also say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe I'm partial, but I think our education, we have a good committee. We're very timely. We don't go for hours like another meeting, a board meeting. But I think, Mr. Abram, you have been great. You've been great to work with. You're laid back. When you come, you present the information in a non-controversy, non-judgmental way. And I have really enjoyed working with you on this committee. I want you to know that, you know,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
you, and really sad that you're not going to be with us, because you are really a very dedicated person, you know. But I hope that you'll be endowed as a parent and maybe even come back. But I've enjoyed it. It's been my pleasure, because I know I'm difficult to work with. Okay.
Oh, no, I love you, Miss Graves.
It's
You all
like,
right with
okay,
me?
Miss Grace. Okay, Miss Grace, calm down, Miss Grace.
Where my tissue at? Where my tissue at? Let me stop the camera.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Abram, it's Ms. Franklin. I'm sorry I was late to the meeting this evening. I wasn't sure if we were meeting tonight, but I did want to jump on, and I could not miss the opportunity to not only wish you a happy birthday, of course.
Thank you.
So just say thank you. I echo what Dr. Skinner shared and what Director Graves has just shared, in that you've really made being a part of this committee, challenged us, but you've also helped us and complimented us when we really needed that. And I really appreciate it, because it does motivate us, and it's good to know when board members approve of what you're doing and we have your support. And so I just wanted to take a moment to share that it's been a pleasure serving with you as a board member, and hope to see you more frequently during the school year as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate those words.
Chair.
Hold on, Mr. Watcher. Let me get myself together. This is.
Okay.
I'm good.
Hey,
Got
man.
too much.
Speaking from my heart, we came on together, and I really appreciate everything you've done. I appreciated the conversations, the banter, definitely the banter. But I really hope to see you more, especially now in the community, based on the fact that you're not obligated as a board member.
Sir, that's the plan. That's the
All right,
plan.
brother.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Whew. Nobody else can say nothing with my gavel. Okay, well, with that being said, we'll move on to item 7, adjournment. Call this meeting closed at 5:35 p.m.
All right.
Thank you all so much.
I hope you have a great birthday this evening, Mr. Abram.
I'm about to turn up.
Hey, you would have
I'm off the
saved
clock.
me
It's about to
a